What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm down in the old historic west side of Las Vegas. And this is actually the neighborhood where I got my very first listing in Las Vegas. I sold a triplex here in 2017, early 2018 for $125,000. And that was a real doozy. I should probably do a video about that experience because it's worth telling the story. But I'm gonna drive you around this neighborhood so you can see this part of town. And hopefully you get something good out of it. A lot of investors can buy rental properties down here, and just come check it out with me, and I'm happy to show you the historic west side part of Las Vegas.
It's common to see burned out houses like this down here. For whatever reason, when you drive through, you'll always see one or two of them that have been burned up. Besides burned up properties, you'll also see a number of boarded up properties. So there's plenty of opportunity for investors to invest down in here. And I'm happy to track down the owner of the property for you and see if they'd like to sell for any investors that are looking for a deal. And there's plenty of decent houses in this neighborhood, just like these ones here. There's also some big vacant lots. So for any apartment or multifamily developers, there's some opportunity here as well. And this location is only about 5 minutes from, or less, from Fremont Street Experience and downtown Las Vegas. This one here was the very first listing I ever took and sold in Las Vegas. And it's a triplex, and it sold for $125,000 in early 2018. Unfortunately, as you drive through this neighborhood, you will see a number of homeless people, and it's tough for them when it gets really cold and when it gets really hot. Although there are more churches in this neighborhood and places where people can get help than pretty much any other part of Las Vegas. So this subdivision right here belongs to the Southern Nevada Housing Authority. It's 35 acres roughly of low-income housing, and I'll include the website link to the Southern Nevada Housing Authority in the description below. They also work with landlords who would like to make their properties available to Section 8 tenants, and they also offer other forms of assistance to elderly folks and families in need. And of course, you could work for the Southern Nevada Housing Authority as well. So I'll put the link to their website in the description. And they have other properties besides this one, but I think this is the biggest one in Nevada, in Southern Nevada in Las Vegas. And correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but it's a pretty big one at 35 acres. There is no homeowners association in this neighborhood, so folks can pretty much do what they like with their properties. And a lot of people are gating them off so their car can be a little more secure. But there's no homeowners association, which means you can pretty much do what you like as far as paint colors and building, designing and decorating the house the way that you like it on the exterior. I'm always tentative to talk about pricing in these videos because, of course, the pricing is going to change, and you might see this video a year after I made it. But at the time of this filming, which is the spring of 2022, properties that have sold in the past 6 months have sold in the low 200s to the low 300s. And there's not a lot of inventory on the market right now, but everything that's on the market right now that I'm looking at is low 300s. And there's a big one that's over 500,000, and there's a really inexpensive one that's a condo for 130,000. But a single family house down here, spring of 2022, is selling in the low 300,000s. This neighborhood is only 5 minutes from downtown Las Vegas and the Fremont Street Experience, the Mob Museum, the Neon Sign Museum, the downtown container park, where there's been a lot of new development going on. And so this could be the next neighborhood in Las Vegas to see some gentrification and some updating because it's still relatively inexpensive to other areas of Las Vegas, and yet has a really great location nearby a big tourist destination, which is the Fremont Street Experience in downtown. So there's a lot of opportunity here in this neighborhood. And for those who have some vision and some time and patience, this could be a great place to own some rental properties and or buy land. The history of this neighborhood is intertwined with the history of Las Vegas. In 1905, the railroad stopped right here in the historic West Side, and goods were shipped from this point all around the city. Here's another house that is burned. Like I said before, if anybody is interested in trying to pick up a inexpensive property down here, just call me and I'll track down the owner of the house and see if they want to sell it. Off in the distance, looking south, you can see downtown Las Vegas, the new Circa Hotel, and you can even see all the way down to the Strat, formerly known as the Stratosphere. There's a lot of history in this neighborhood that I don't have time in this video to go into, but it is the site of the old historic Moulin Rouge, the Cotton Club, a lot of the African American entertainers that worked on the strip in the 1930s and 40s and early 1950s were not allowed to live or stay at hotels on the strip, and they formed sort of their own strip in this neighborhood with 4 popular nightclubs that were frequented by Joe Louis, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, and other well-known entertainers from that time. I'll include some links to some of that history. It's really interesting and fascinating, the history of this neighborhood and how it was really built alongside the start of Las Vegas. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you'd like to see any other area of Las Vegas. I'm happy to go drive that one next. Thanks so much.